Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. Of course, Newcastle United take on Atletico Bilbao at St James's Park today. Last night, of course, we took on Atlanta at St James's Park. Our first game back at St James's Park, of course, since that last game of the season where we played, of course, at home. And it was nice to see the fans back in St James's Park last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the game because I couldn't get any tickets to go to it, unfortunately. But an absolutely fantastic shown by the lads against a team that finished eighth in the Serie A last season, and of course a team that played Champions League football as well. So it was quite an impressive performance. Yes, I know it was only a goal from the penalty spot from Chrissy Wood, but at the end of the day, we went toe to toe with a team that played Champions League football, a team that finished eighth in their league last season. So that is a really good showing. And War Flags was on shore as well, as they always are when we're at home at St James's Park. And it was nice to see, a massive crowd as well coming out for just a pre-season friendly, which, I was expecting, to be honest, a huge crowd. And we've got it, like we always do, 40,996, I believe it was, fans that turned up to the game. Of course, it was £20 a ticket to get in for the game as well. And like I say, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go because I couldn't get any tickets for the game, but it was a fantastic game. And we will, of course, talk about the news circulating around the team now. Now, I haven't covered this one on the channel yet, but I do want to talk about it. Of course, it is a loan that Newcastle United got out by HSBC. Now, of course, there will be images to this loan up on the screen. And Newcastle got out a loan. Now it's quite interesting, because there's a lot of people saying that this is a dodgy decision, a dodgy move by Newcastle. Now, every club does this. Every club does this kind of thing. All they're doing is they're taking out a loan against the money, that we will receive at the end of this season. They're calculating the amount of money that we are due to get, when this season does end. And, we see it with Manchester City. They've done it for years since their owners have come in. Liverpool do it, United do it, Arsenal do it. Every club does it in the world. They loan against the money that they're going to get at the end of the season, so then they can spend that money, ahead of time, because we're in the transfer window right now. If we can have that 140 million, I believe it was, that the club loaned from HSBC, if we can have that money now, we can then use that money in this window to bring in a few more players. Plus, if you look at it as well from another point of view, you bring 140 million into the club. I believe that's what the loan was, and you bring that in, that's going to wipe off all that amount that you've already spent on the players. So it's pretty much like we've got Sven Botman for free, Nick Pope for free, Matty Target for free, Bruno for free, Trippier for free. It's pretty much like we've got them players for free. So it's a brilliant move by the club, a brilliant decision as well by the owners to do this. This is something, like I say, a lot of other clubs do it as well. So it's nothing new. It's nothing dodgy. Even though there is quite a few people out there, saying that it is a dodgy move by Newcastle to do this, it really isn't. It's just good business sense at the end of the day. We'll move on from that, and of course, we will talk about the news circulating around about transfers as well. We're once again seeing yet again more information from Hugo Ekitike, who was talking about the failed move to Newcastle United. Now, Jordan Cronin of Newcastle World, of course, put this piece out, and he says Hugo Ekitike on his failed move to NUFC. I'm not setting aside everything Newcastle did for me to come. If I had to go abroad, I would have gone there. But when PSG wants you and you're French, you can't refuse. And to be honest, that could just be, the player trying to save his ass on that one. But at the end of the day, I've got to agree with him. He's a French player. PSG is calling for him, and you've got to make that move if like you say, like he says there, he's French. It's a brilliant move for a French player to be able to go to PSG. Let's not forget, PSG's one of the biggest teams in France, if not the biggest team in France. So it's pretty much a given that if a club like that go in for a French player, the French player is going to be tempted to make that move. But let's not brush under the carpet, the fact that his agent seemed to be pretty against his move to Newcastle United because he wasn't going to be able to get that 13 million transfer fee, for himself, that agent fee. So I think, to be honest, I think that might have been a factor on it. Obviously, his agent has caused quite a bit of controversy with that whole deal. But at the end of the day, if this is true, what Hugo Ekitike has said, which I'm sure it probably is, because at the end of the day, it is coming from Jordan Cronin. I'm sure he isn't going to want to risk his reputation by putting out a fake piece of news there, is he? So, at the end of the day, if that is the case, then good luck to the lads. Hopefully it works out for him there on loan at PSG. If not, then hopefully, he doesn't regret the move on loan, and he doesn't regret, not coming to Newcastle United, because we are going places. Of course, today as well, before we're getting to the rest of the news, of course, today marks the 26th anniversary of Alan Shearer joining Newcastle United. 26 years ago today, Alan Shearer joined Newcastle United, and of course the rest, as they say, is history. 405 appearances, 206 goals for Newcastle United. Of course, the all-time Premier League goal scorer as well. So, it says it all for itself right there. What a fantastic signing. And 26 years ago today, we were getting the greatest striker in English football in Alan Shearer. Probably the greatest striker in the world, in my opinion. Don't come any better than Alan Shearer. At the end of the day, Shearer is a once in a lifetime player. He's like your Pele, your Maradona, your Lionel Messi, your Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a once in a lifetime player. You'd only see these kinds of players, once in a blue moon, to quote the phrase at the end of the day. But 26 years ago today, we were signing the greatest striker in English football. Can we, 26 years on, be able to sign yet again, another greatest striker in the world? Only time will tell, but we'll see as it goes on. And of course, moving on from that to talk about, of course, news that has come out today from the Telegraph. Of course, there's other journalists as well and other media outlets as well reporting this. Newcastle have made a 40 million bid for Leicester City attacking midfielder James Maddison. The offer was, of course, submitted yesterday, and of course it was turned down by Leicester City. Newcastle are now considering an improved offer for the attacking midfielder. Now, I've got to say, if we're going out there and we're going to pay £40 million for James Maddison of Leicester City, I would much rather go out there and pay, the £34 million fee, I believe it is, that was being, tossed around for Lucas Paqueta. I would much rather go out there and pay that for Paqueta than, going out and paying the 40 million for James Maddison. Now, I could see the benefits behind this 40 million bid, or this bid, whatever it is that we would pay for James Maddison, in the fact that he's a Premier League proven player. He's already got that Premier League experience. He's done it at Leicester, so I can see the benefits there to that deal of paying more money for a player of that quality. But, that's not to say that Lucas Paqueta coming into the league isn't going to hit the ground running. There's a lot of benefits to that deal as well if we could get Paqueta in, because there's the benefit of and being Bruno's mate. You know, the chemistry that the two of them have got as well together from when they played at Lyon. There's also other benefits to the deal as well. You know, so looking at the two, if it comes down to it and we'll have to pay crazy amounts of money for James Maddison, I would much rather, you know, we'll go out there and pay that money for Lucas Paqueta, because then at least, you know, you're getting a player that's going to be able to integrate himself into the team much easier because he's already got a friend in the team. So that's my opinion on that one. But James Maddison is a pretty decent player. Obviously, you know, he is going to have a bit of a black mark for what he did when he played against us, of course. But, you know, we've got to look past that. If a player comes in, we've got to give them the chance. We've got to give them a proper go. We can't, you know, be looking at them and saying, well, you did this at that club, so you're not welcome here. And to be honest, you know, I don't agree with what he did. But at the end of the day, if he comes to Newcastle, you know, and he's going to put on that shirt, he's going to give 110% out there on the field on a weekend, on the, you know, midweek games, then I'm all for it. But like I say, you know, if it comes down to it, and you're going to have to pay crazy money for James Maddison, or you can pay the money for Lucas Paqueta, which won't be nearly as much as what you're going to be paying for Maddison, obviously, because of that English tax that, you know, a player of Maddison's caliber would bring, then obviously you would go with Lucas Paqueta. But again, like I say, there's loads of benefits with Maddison already having the Premier League experience, but then there's also the benefits on the side for Paqueta as well. I know I'm sitting on the fence on this one, but there's a lot of benefits to look at on both sides of transfer deals there for both players that I've just mentioned. But we'll move on from that, and of course we'll talk about Eddie Howe talking on transfers. He says never say never about but as the days tick by, it looks more unlikely, sorry, by Forest. I probably wouldn't have hoped to be in that situation, no attacking signing. But the most important thing is we get the right players, not the speed we get them at. So that is, again, you know, a great thing, because Eddie Howe is looking at it from a wider view, instead of, you know, rushing into this window, just buying any old crap and throwing them out on the pitch, like we've seen with so many other clubs, you know, that just rush out there, they buy any old crap player, and then it just doesn't work out. So it's nice to see, you know, that Eddie Howe's got his head on his shoulders, which we all know he has. You know, he's a fantastic manager. He's done some great stuff here already since coming to the club, you know, so it's nice to see that he is continuing that on, and he's not, you know, going to rush into signing just any old player. He wants the best players to be coming and playing in Newcastle, players that are really going to, you know, integrate with the team in a much better way, you know, and they're not going to upset that balance in the team neither. Moving on to yet again more talk by Eddie Howe, as well as he talked about Elliot Anderson. Of course, he said he has performed very well, but no decision will be made on his future until end of the transfer window, probably the last few days. At the moment, it looks like he'll stay because of how he is performing, and I've got to, you know, really agree with that. At the end of the day, if you look at the way Elliot Anderson's been performing in this pre-season, he's definitely got to stay, and there's so many benefits to this side, you know, of this decision as well, in the fact that, you know, you get Elliot Anderson to stay at Newcastle United. He doesn't take up a place. He's a local lad. He's going to go out there. He's going to pull on the shirt. He's going to put in the performances every single game because he's a local lad. He knows what it's like to support Newcastle United. It's in his blood at the end of the day. And, you know, it's just ticks all the boxes on this one, because it's just the perfect move, you know, and the perfect decision for Elliot Anderson to stay in Newcastle. It's just the right decision to be making. And like I say, you know, he doesn't take up a place neither in the team, so he can be there and thereabouts around the team this season. And look at what he did against Atalanta last night. You know, he was absolutely fantastic. That is a team that finished 8th in their league last season, a team that plays in Champions League football as well. So to see, a young lad that's come up through the ranks at Newcastle United to be doing something like that. You know, he's definitely one for the future, and we should be keeping him here. And that is nice to see that Eddie Howe, you know, is going along the same lines of saying, you know, he will stay here because he is performing and he is putting in some good moves as well. But that is it for the news. Of course, there will be a video out to talk about the stadium upgrades. And of course, there has been some other news as well, which I will quickly cover on the transfer news. Of course, there is talk of Newcastle, Ajax and Bayer Leverkusen in a race to the transfer of Giovanni, the 18-year-old Brazilian player from Palmeiras. Now, I don't know if this one's true or not, but I'm just going to put it up there because, again, it is transfer news, so we might as well put it up there and talk about that. And of course, just before we end off the video as well, I do want to show a little bit of respect to another staff member at Newcastle United, and of course, it is of course the head of goalkeeping, Simon Smith, who was leaving the club. He, of course, was the goalkeeping coach at Newcastle United. He is going to move on, and of course, Newcastle United here putting up a tweet extending their sincere thanks to, of course, Simon Smith for his many years of service to Newcastle United, and of course, wish him all the very best for the future as well. And as do I, at the end of the day, you know, he's done some really great stuff for Newcastle, and he deserves all of the praise that he's getting as well. But that's it for this video. Hopefully, you know, you will hit a like on the video if you have liked it. If not, you know, then please let us know down in the comments below why you didn't like the video, as then I can improve the content. And until next time, of course, I'll see you all later. Remember, hit that like, share and subscribe. And of course, good luck to Newcastle tonight. Hopefully, you know, we can pick up yet another win in this game against Athletic Bilbao at St James's Park. And of course, keep an eye out as well for the stadium update video, where I will talk about the stadium upgrades and stuff that have been going on in detail, of course, to let you know about that one. Till next time though, however, lads.